Hey friends, it's Allison. Welcome back to my channel. I have a new scrapbook layout to share with you today that uses squares of mini pad paper. I used some ancient my mind's eye paper that I had in my stash, as well as 2 photos that I edited on my computer and then printed at 3 by 3 inches. My inspiration came from a sketch by Kelly Feldman over at Paper Issues. And as you can see, it's a little bit different than the original sketch. Pardon me as I have a little sip of my tea while I play. There were 4 squares that were layered on top of each other, sort of in 2 rows. I decided to expand that a little bit and create 3 squares across the page in the center of the page. Now my squares end up just a little bit off center. They're a little higher up than I had intended, but it still works. And I'll show you how I make it feel like it is a little more centered, more towards the end of the video. There I'm just showing you some scrap papers that I killed in the process of creating this layout. There are some Cricut die cuts that I use to embellish my layout and also to add my title. So right now I am adding a white star that I cut from white cardstock. All the cardstock that I use today, once again, is from Close to My Heart. I really enjoy their cardstock. It's a nice weight. It's smooth cardstock and it's also white core, which I know some people out there really enjoy the smooth cardstocks as well as white core cardstocks. And I find for die cutting purposes, it's an excellent weight to work with. The title was die cut as well, and as you can see, it cut in a bunch of pieces. I ended up gluing them together just using some liquid glue, and then that got adhered over top of the giant star. I have a little subtitle, if that's what you would like to call it, just a little strip that I cut with my Cricut as well that says yum repeatedly on it. I cut that with my Cricut and then decided to mat it to some other pattern paper scraps that I had just sitting on my desk, and it worked with my color scheme for this layout as well, which I thought was fairly serendipitous, so it worked out quite well. That paper also was ancient my mind's eye, so it all worked with everything all together. The colors that I used in this layout may actually surprise you. It surprised me because when I was designing this layout in Cricut Design Space, some of the stars were a blue color. That's how I read it in the creative process. But when I actually got to the making process, part of the process actually, the blue actually translated more to a purple color. So the colors cardstock that I'm using for the stars is a mixture of Close to My Heart Wisteria, which is a really bluish purple color and gorgeous, by the way. I don't use it often enough in my crafting, but I absolutely love this color scheme. I also used sage cardstock, almond, so it's like a light tan color, and then just a teensy little bit of glacier as well. And like I just mentioned, this color scheme is absolutely divine. The sage got pulled in by the pattern paper that is layered underneath of the white star. I thought that it was blue, but actually it was green. And the closest color of the cardstock that I have on hand anyways was sage. So once again, totally serendipitous, and I just love how it came together. I'm pretty well getting close to the end of my creative process. I'm just working on my journaling right now. I used a straight edge ruler and a pencil to mark out lines. They're about 1/4 inch apart. I use my black mat as a guide to help me keep my lines straight. And then I write my journaling in between those lines, cut them out with scissors, and then adhere them to my layout. It's one of my favorite hacks for creating the look of journaling strips, but it makes it easier for me to get them as near to perfect as possible. That's not really using the right words to describe it, but just to get them as neat and even as possible. So there's my journaling. There's a lot of journaling on this layout for a change. I know that I have been making an effort to keep it a little more abridged in my layouts and saving the longer stories for my traveler's notebook, but I felt like this occasion called for the journaling. So here is how I'm making my layout feel just a little bit more centered. I decided to add just a teensy little bit of splatter using Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Tea. I originally was going to keep it at the bottom, and then I thought it looked kind of funny, but looking at it now, it would have been fine. So I added a little bit more to the top of the page, and that is it for me. I hope this layout inspired you to either check out Paper Issues. There's lots of inspiration there, by the way, in their Facebook group. I'll link them down below so you can check them out, or to use up your mini paper pads. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did, give me a thumbs up and a like. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're looking for more creative inspiration, join me here again. I'll be back again soon to share more with you. Bye, friends.